This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Friday, August 21st, 2020. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Well, the hits keep coming, and this really stinks for Annapolis, but the City of Annapolis has informed the organizers of the boat shows that the Power Boat Show, scheduled for October 1st through the 4th, and the Sailboat Show, scheduled October 8th to the 12th, will not be allowed to be held in the City of Annapolis this year due to COVID-19. City Manager David Jarrell said it is a blow to the city and will be additional stress on local businesses, but we can't be the epicenter of a COVID-19 outbreak. It is that simple. Mayor Buckley said, "No one wanted to have the boat shows in Annapolis more than I did, but our first obligation is to ensure the health and safety of city residents and visitors." And Paul Jacobs, who was the president of the boat show, said that he was not consulted on the cancellation after having a Monday morning meeting to go over the safety protocols for the boat shows. This would have been the 51st annual sailboat show and the 49th annual sailboat show. You can probably find out more information at AnnapolisBoatShows.com. Yesterday morning at about 10 a.m., Anne Arundel County Police responded to Solomon's Island Road and Harwood Road for a motor vehicle accident. When they arrived, they found that a northbound Toyota Camry had slammed into the rear of a Ford F-350 dump truck at the intersection. Unfortunately, the operator of the Camry, who was identified as a 43-year-old man from Churchton, did die on the scene. The dump truck was at the traffic light with its left turn signal on, stopped, ready to make a left turn onto Harwood Road from northbound Route 2. There is a curve just prior to that intersection, and the Camry was heading in the same direction and was not able to avoid the collision. Bystanders and medical personnel stepped up and performed life-saving measures on the driver. However, he was pronounced dead at the scene. Police do say that the initial cause appears to be driver error, and neither speed nor impairment appear to be any kind of a contributing factor. And in a follow-up to a story back on February 21st, Anne Arundel County Police responded to Milt's Rendezvous, which is a bar and restaurant on Church Street in Brooklyn, for a fight. When they arrived, they found Edward Young, a 45-year-old male from Baltimore, suffering from a head injury in the parking lot. On March 1st, Mr. Young did pass away to his injuries, and back on June 17th, the chief medical examiner ruled that his death was a homicide. Anne Arundel County detectives investigated, and they found that he was involved in an altercation inside the restaurant with a 38-year-old male from Baltimore. It continued outside in the parking lot, and Mr. Young attempted to assault the suspect. At that time, a family member of the suspect came to his defense and punched Mr. Young, causing him to fall to the ground, at which time the suspect approached Mr. Young and assaulted him seriously, causing injuries to his upper body. This was all captured on videotape. On Wednesday night, the Anne Arundel County Police Department's fugitive apprehension team, along with the Baltimore Police Department, did arrest the suspect at his residence in the 4900 block of Pennington Avenue in Baltimore. He was taken into custody without incident, charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, first and second-degree assault, and reckless endangerment. He's currently being held on a no-bond status at the Anne Arundel County Detention Facility. Police are asking anybody that may have any information or may have witnessed this fight back on February 21st to give them a call at 410-222-4731. And this is kind of a cool story. Since we are all sort of stuck at home, this is an opportunity to learn about what we have here in Anne Arundel County. Who knew that we had a Cultural Resources Division of the Office of Planning and Zoning? I just learned that when I found out about this, but they have completed the first round of what they're calling roadside historic markers. They were installed earlier this year, and Anne Arundel County has an initiative that wants its residents to get outside, enjoy the fresh air, and visit local historical sites, of course, while social distancing, wearing your masks, and doing all of that. Well, how many are there? There are nearly 4,000 historic buildings, archaeological sites, historic districts, cemeteries, and heritage communities in the county. I had no idea we had that much. Only 10 have been marked, so obviously there is a long way to go, and they are looking for additional locations that may be included. So if you want to have a roadside marker or information on what you believe to be a historic area, you can submit that. Now, to go along with all of this, they do have an interactive map which shows you the locations with pictures and more information all about each site. You can go to aacounty.org/historic signs to check that out, and it is actually very cool. It's a fascinating website. And if you want to nominate a place to possibly be included for future recognition, you want to go to aacounty.org/sign-nomination- form. Don't ask me why they didn't just include a button on that original page. But definitely go check it out, aacounty.org/historic signs. Plan out a road trip for the weekend. Go see a couple of them and learn about the history that we have right here in our own backyard. Very cool, good initiative, and who knew we had a Cultural Resources Division of the Office of Planning and Zoning? Go figure. All right, that does wrap it up for the news today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net for updates to these stories and more throughout the day. If you are someplace you can leave us a rating or a review, please do that and let your friends, family, and colleagues know about us so they can download the podcast and get it delivered to their phone or iPad, just like you're doing. It's Friday, so of course I got to tell you, have a great weekend, be safe, and we will see you on Monday. But right now you need to hang tight because we have George Young with your local DMV weather forecast. He's coming up in just 1 minute, but here is Rick Peters from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Friday, August 21st. Yesterday brought a very nice day to the Annapolis region with tons of sun and relatively low humidity as temps were in the low to mid-80s for highs. And today won't be too far off, though a slight chance of showers and storms returns as a frontal boundary along the east coast creeps back a bit to the north, creating unsettled skies once again for the area today through the weekend. Look for highs Saturday in the mid to upper 80s, followed by upper 80s to lower 90s on Sunday. And while the outlook for the first half of next week is still for sunshine and upper 80s to lower 90s, we'll have to start watching the tropics once again as another system is expected to form and could ultimately track toward Anne Arundel County sometime later next week. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great weekend out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DCMDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores, and also follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and use our website each day at dmvweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Hi everybody, this is Brian Grivis, the publisher of The Duck Pen. I've been podcasting for almost 10 years, and I'll be making my return to podcasting this September with the Duck Pen Podcast. We'll be talking about the things that matter in your life: news, politics, sports, culture. We'll be looking at those things from a state, local, and national level, and we'll be talking to the people who are making those things happen. Subscribe now by visiting anchor.fm/theduckpin, or search for The Duck Pen, DUCKPIN, in your favorite podcast app or on YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at The Duck Pen. Subscribe today so you don't miss a single episode of The Duck Pen Podcast coming this September. To learn more about The Duck Pen, visit theduckpen.com.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.